Are your business teams waiting for days or weeks? For analysts to deliver reports? Is your current BI tool too slow or complex for everyday business users? We have Jose Bano Sanchez, the senior QuickSight GTM specialist, talking about how Amazon QuickSight helps you unlock real-time, scalable, and AI-powered data insights without heavy lifting.
So I would like to start introducing what is QuickSight for those who don't know about QuickSight. So if we go to the next slide, we can give a brief introduction of what is QuickSight. QuickSight was born approximately 8 years ago, and following the AWS typical methodology of working backwards, AWS analyzed the market with some of the missing features in the products, and one of the things is that there were multiple BI tools, but each of them was focusing on one specific use case. So one of the ideas behind QuickSight was to have one single tool to cover all these use cases, like enterprise dashboarding, using to create pixel perfect reporting, as Boris was mentioned before, embedding dashboard, because that's one of the needs of the market, embed dashboard into your application, into your websites. And that was one of the things. But what's happening when you consolidate multiple features into one platform, that you need to scale because you're going to have more users. And with QuickSight, you don't need to provision any type of servers when you are scaling in and out, or deprovision servers. Everything is done by QuickSight, and you don't need to do, as I said, anything related to IT provisioning and so on. Simple model for charging. Either you pay per user, you pay per session, basically only what you consume. And always keeping, of course, governance. Security is policy number one in AWS. You can create role-level security, column-level security, a data set, and anything that you create out of this data set is inheriting those role-level security or column-level securities. You can use folders. You can also create a multi-tenancy environment. Even for your authors, you can also create roles, so you can decide what each of them could access or not access in terms of data set. So based on that, we can move into the next slide and conclude with what is QuickSight, or what has been QuickSight done in the market. I've mentioned this idea of consolidating multiple use cases, these silos, into one single tool, but we cannot stop there. We need to continue innovating. We need to keep innovating so our customers can innovate to their end customers as well. And then customers are asking to us, it's great to get insights from structured data, but what about unstructured data? And that's where we are working also. Get this merge of insight, no matter where the data is coming from, structured or unstructured. And as Boris was also mentioning, agentic data or agentic AI is like the next step where all the BI tools should go. So we are also working on providing agentic solution for our customer for this more complex problem. But here we are talking about solutions, but also if you think about economically, according to one research recently from the Economic Strategy Group, you can reduce up to 74% your cost using QuickSight, consolidating into QuickSight. But we're talking about GenAI. So in the next slide, we can see three main areas where GenAI has impact in the workplace. Please keep in mind these three areas: productivity, creativity, and quality. First one, productivity. According to the American Productivity and Quality Center, according to a survey from them, we spend almost 1 week every month doing repetitive tasks. That's really inefficient. We should find ways to mitigate that, and GenAI is helping to mitigate that and make us more productive. Second one, creativity. According to the Wharton Business School, they kind of organize a competition between human using AI tools versus human not using AI tool, and the teams using AI tool or helping with the AI tool were much more productive. They were able to create 40 times more than the human-only team. And the last one, according to the MIT Technology Review, quality. 88% of the respondents conclude that their work using GenAI was more or had better quality. Then let's move into what is Amazon Q in QuickSight. And that's the area in QuickSight where we are adding or leveraging GenAI in QuickSight. So it's part of QuickSight. So Q in QuickSight is part of QuickSight, but it's used GenAI to help build better solution. In the next slide, we will see 3 areas within Q in QuickSight. One, the first one on the left. How can GenAI, Q in QuickSight in this case, help developers? Building dashboard using natural language. Use natural language to create content, to build calculated fields, to also refine the content that you have created. And if you remember, this is related to the increase the productivity. You can build more using natural language. If we focus on readers, on the business persona of the user, we can use a Q&A to answer questions, in this case in the form of visuals. And we can also create executive summaries and stories. Stories, for those who are not familiar with this feature, it creates kind of like a narrative answering one question, or like, for example, I would like to create a marketing campaign for next year based on the best products that I think should be in that marketing campaign next year. And I would like to also create a timeline to deploy that marketing campaign, even maybe a discounting strategy. So stories within Q in QuickSight is going to build that for you. So here we are moving into the concept of creativity, because we are creating content for our customer. And all of that, of course, continues using QuickSight. So the quality is going to be same or improved versus what we already had before. But I was talking before about integrating structured data with unstructured data. So in the next slide, we can see how using Q&A, we are able now in QuickSight to get the traditional answer. I would say traditional, and this has been around for 3 years. So when we ask a question like the bottom performing products, we will get the insight, the answer to that question using structured data. But if we want to give some context, we can now integrate QuickSight with Q Business to get insights from unstructured data, like documents, wiki pages, and so on. So the data, the insight that we are getting from the structured tables is enriched with this unstructured data, giving us this context that we might be missing only with structured data. And if we move to the next slide, we see that we have the same capabilities when we talk about stories. Remember what I talked before about the stories, building this marketing campaign? What we could do now, imagine that we are a retail company, online retail e-commerce. We probably ran some campaigns last year also, like maybe during for the Black Friday, for Mother's Day. So we could learn from those campaigns last year. We could enrich the story that we are building using the result that we have in our structured data from those campaigns, and using this know-how plus the metrics that we have, create this new story. But that's not all. We were talking before about agentic or agentic solution. So in the next slide, we can see how we can help this business persona for those questions more complex, where they're asking not only for an insight, for a metric, but maybe something like, okay, what will happen if I make these changes or this change in one of my metrics? What is the relationship with these different metrics? So through a step-by-step process of guidance and scenarios, it's going to help the business persona to be closer to what would be a data analyst. Because I could ask something like a more complex what if, like what would happen if I increase the price for this specific product 10%? How that will impact the entire chain of production, for example, how that will impact my end sales. So that's where scenarios is coming into the picture. And some example of customer using Q and QuickSight, we have a BMW, for example, as we can see in the next slide, and they highlighted the increase in productivity, for example, as you can see here, because they moved from building dashboard in days to hours. And they were already expert building dashboard. It's not like they were beginners, but using natural language is definitely helping those personas. Creativity, as they highlighted here, stories present a clear picture of the business to board meetings. You don't need to go to a meeting, go through a dashboard, spend X amount of minutes of hour to understand everything. Story can create that summary for you, can create this clear whole picture of the situation. And with that, I would say, to conclude my session in the next slide, that keep these three areas that I have mentioned before. Productivity, think about natural language to help you in the productivity. When creating content, but also when you want to get insights. Creativity, storytelling, and scenarios. Because we are not anymore talking about unidirectional consumption. That's what we are talking, that the dashboards now are creating content. When I say dashboard, I would say the BI tool, QuickSight, it's creating content. And of course, keeping always the same quality that has been always there.
Transform legacy systems with the power of GenAI BI. Unlock faster, smarter, and more accessible insights across your enterprise.